All right, y'all. The hip hop Avengers have been assembled. Shout outs Jalopy, bro.
Clear divide in hip hop right now. I want to reference a tweet that Punch had put on Twitter not that long ago that covers a very much larger conversation. And that's the fact that Punch is stating the divide in hip hop is insane. It's like it's two different ideologies. The battle may have been the catalyst, but it feels like it's been bubbling for a while. No matter what the topic is, you can tell clearly who falls on what side. It's referencing the things that we have been talking about on this channel for a while now. The fact that this battle and this whole situation that we're witnessing in this country is much bigger than diss tracks and hip hop. There is a clear divide. This is because there is a shift in our energy. There is a shift in our reality. And the old reality is fighting to stay within existence. This is happening everywhere. It might be happening in your life right now. It might be happening to you. It goes on to say, depending on which side was taken in the battle, the same group of people like the same sports star, the same politician, had the same stance on whatever issue. It's like a social experiment. I 1000% agree with Punch. I think that's why it's so hard for a lot of people to have nuanced conversations when it comes to this battle. And not only for the battle, but in general. People can have nuanced conversations about politics, nuanced conversations about really anything. It's either black and white, and that's because there's a clear divide going on. Which brings me to the title of this video. And clearly, very clearly, the Hip Hop Avengers have come together, bro. And I call them the Hip Hop Avengers because you talking about clips. You talking.
Oh, yeah, dude. So who's like Spider-Man? You know what I'm saying? I feel like Jay-Z would be Iron Man, obviously. You know what I mean? I feel like I don't even know who all the fucking Avengers are. I haven't seen any of those fucking movies, bro. But I feel like Kendrick would be Spider-Man, right? am I tripping?
About Pharrell. You talk about Kendrick Lamar. You talking about Jay-Z, Nas. This is ridiculous right here. And these guys are working very closely right now under this Clips album. Now, the Kendrick Lamar-Drake battle was obviously the line that was drawn in the sand. I think both sides made their point very clear, and that's what we got. But when you look at this Clips album, it's almost like another flag is being planted in the sand. That's why, while Clips has always been culturally relevant, I think this is the most important album of their entire career. Because this album is gonna set the precipice of where hip hop is going next. I'm trying to tell y'all right now.
I mean, bro, like I feel like we're already even past the point. It already set that. I feel like, you know.
On the reception, the cultural impact, and the performance of this album, hip hop is going to take a completely different turn in the coming years. And I believe this is why the Hip Hop Avengers.
I feel like there's no way that the album doesn't do well. Like the way they've rolled it all out, you know, with the different snippets, with the leaks, with the official videos, you know what I mean? Like, man, like there's never been anything like this before, you know? And, man, like from a producer perspective, Pharrell is just so legendary, bro. You know, he's not the same Pharrell he was at the last Clips album. Neither was Pusha T and Malice. But if we're talking about like I don't know how else to put it. Like power, right? If we're talking about power, like who's more powerful than Pharrell? You know, like, you know, he's doing very well for himself. Way better than he was during, you know, Hell Hath No Fury and all that. Which I recently found out was also like only produced by Pharrell, which is fucking dope. But like, yeah, dude, it's just perfect timing for all this. And Jay-Z's been super successful for a while, and for all these things to align, it's like, it's amazing.
Avengers have assembled.
Unheard
it's
of.
To let the people know,
shit like this hasn't even happened in other genres, bro. Like, it's insane.
Each of these fan bases that come from the core of our essence, the core of hip hop, that we are back, that the feel is restored, that the energy that you came up with is back. And there's no better way to stamp that than to bring all of these legends who have done numerous things for this culture, numerous things for the advancement of hip hop together in this moment. And to prove that this allegiance is clear as day, we can look at the events leading up to the Louis Vuitton show that happened today. For example, Clips and Pharrell have recorded their entire album in Paris. They made this extremely clear. And you telling me the very next time we see Jay-Z in years on a performance is a surprise pop out with Beyonce, where? In Paris. Not only that, this is 2 weeks before the Clips album drops. Not only that, Kendrick Lamar and SZA are performing in Paris 4 days after the Clips album drops. Wow. That don't seem kind of coordinated to y'all? I'm just wondering. Don't get me started on everybody that's out in Paris right now that got interesting connections to each other. You got AZ Chike out there. Jay-Z and Beyonce pulled up to the...
They're doing the fucking Geneva Convention, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Louis Vuitton show. Freddie Gibbs is out there, bro.
Freddie Gibbs, bro?
Bro, it's a lot of MCs out there. Who knows? And while I was recording this, it just got announced that Rick Ross and Pharrell are dropping a video this month.
Hold the fuck on.
That Rick Ross and Pharrell are dropping a video this month. And guess where it was shot? In Paris. You can't tell me there isn't a clear allegiance being built here, and we've been talking about this for a minute now. And that makes you do a double take. Like, hold on. There's also been another allegiance building on the other side. And we've been talking about this allegiance too. They made their allegiance so obvious. People like myself been talking about it since July of 2024, bruh. And just like Punch said in that tweet, it almost feels political. To where all three of these individuals have some type of adjacent assimilation with the right. Not just them, it's their fan bases. When you see the fan bases of Drake and Kanye West specifically, a lot of these guys are like younger Gen Z MAGA types.
Yeah, bro, and that's what's crazy. Because, like, most of Kanye's fans now aren't even, like, fans from the beginning, bro. Like, the first Kanye album they heard was, like, Life of Pablo. And they lost their fucking minds. That's, like, not even his best shit, dude.
Now, their fan bases are wide range, don't get me wrong. But if you ever see debates or arguments for these guys, or anybody going to bat for them, it's usually somebody on that side. And then you think about people like Young Thug who have openly expressed what side of the sand they stay on. You think about people like Lil Baby who have openly expressed what side of the stand they stand on. There's definitely a war going on in the industry, and there's been a war going on in this music industry, dog. There's a shift happening, just like I said in the beginning of the video, where the new ways of being, the new ways of life are trying to make themselves apparent. But the old version of life, the old way of life wants to pull it back so that it can't. That's something that is the energy of the world right now. Whether it's outside of you, it's physical, spiritual, you see countries, you see wherever you look, that divide is extremely clear because we are coming into a new timeline. And I think...
Yeah, bro, it's so true, dude. Like, over the past, I don't know how long, bro, and not to get too personal, but, like, something great would be happening, and then some fuck shit, you know what I mean? Then something good will happen, and then a couple issues pop up, you know what I mean? Like,
pop is the history, like the documentation of what is going on in real time. From the perspective of there's a clear divide. Sees out there, who knows? And while talking about this allegiance, just like Punch said, and that guys are like younger Gen Z who have openly expressed what side of the stand they
see. Like that, we're watching a good video, and then somehow we get popped into another video.
Stand on. There's definitely a war going on in the industry, and there's been a war going on in this music industry, dog. There's a shift happening, just like I said in the beginning of the video, where the new ways of being, the new ways of life are trying to make themselves apparent. But the old version of life, the old way of life, wants to pull it back so that it can. That's something that is the energy of the world right now. Whether it's outside of you, it's physical, spiritual. You see countries, you see wherever you look, that divide is extremely clear because we are coming into a new timeline. And I think this Louis Vuitton show was another one of those things where the line was stamped. It was stamped. You don't see none of those individuals I named pulling up to this show. But the individuals that stand for the art form and stand for hip hop, not just as a money-making machine, but something to express yourself and help others express themselves from, yeah, they teaming up right now. And I don't think you're not gonna be able to fuck with them because they control the quality of the music. The other side has been commodifying it for so long.
Those glasses are fucking. What the fuck, dude? Yeah, I can kind of go for that. Like, got some new gatekeepers. You know, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Once the commodification is no longer wanted and people want the art, they've lost the track. Now, I believe that the side that has Drake and Kanye on it is hoping to turn this into a political war because they've lost their power within the culture. They lost their culture cachet. So they got to get it from somewhere else. And since they no longer have the culture cachet, I think they're hoping they can gather audiences from the MAGA side, the conservative side, etc., right? And use that to leverage them in this war that is going on. They're hoping that they can make this about Democrat and Republican because that's where their power source would be.
Yeah, but if they do that, what's like the actual war that's going to be like? Is it going to be like a sales war? Is it like a song war? Like there's no way. I don't know. Kanye's quality has been so lacking. Like there's no way he can compare to whatever Pharrell's output is going to be. So if it's just quality of music, that's not it. If it's sales, that's probably not going to be it. The last 10 Drake songs completely flop. You know what I mean?
The people who support hip-hop...
It's a losing game for them, you know?
Like the hip-hop Avengers that I just showed y'all do not need to politically align in order to make this happen. I think that might be the case for some of them, but not all of them. Kendrick Lamar does not have to politically align himself to do what he's doing right now. But they're hoping to make it seem that way.
Nah, dude, people gotta align with him. You know what I mean?
They're hoping to paint these guys as the faces of the Democratic Party. I promise you they're gearing up for the election. Parties are gearing up for elections too, hoping they can use these influencers and these musicians as leverage to push their candidate. I don't think that that's going to happen for the Democratic Party as much as it'll happen for the Republican Party. Because the artists who are going in that direction are depleted of all their cultural relevance. So they have no choice but to agree to it. And the Republican Party didn't really have a lot of musical representation in this last election. And I believe that's what's going on here. I think everybody in this picture probably has different political beliefs. Probably some of them don't believe in either party. Some of them probably lean in one way, etc. But I think their goal is to make them the face of that side. But regardless of all that political shit that ran just went on, right? Musically, this is about to be the image. This is about to be what it is. For the foreseeable future, hip-hop is about to be hardcore. And you got to get used to it. Like, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new here, especially if you've been watching and you ain't subscribed yet.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I mean, you kind of have always been right, bro. But I hope you're right again. Because, yeah, that's definitely what is needed.